little more power.
Hello, welcome to ZIPS Nation Insider. My name is Jacob Farrar, here with Grant Bogdan. Grant, this is our first live show since the start of the new year. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year, happy holidays.
We're back, new year, new you maybe?
Yeah, I think so. This could be the year.
This could be the year?
No, a lot's happened, since we've, recapped Akron ZIPS athletics in the last month or so.
Sure, there's been a lot of activity, specifically on the men's and women's basketball. Let's start right in with men's basketball.
Definitely. Jumping into men's, they've played 6 games, actually, since we've recapped the latest happenings. 3-3 in that stretch. I think the 2 big ones to know, they're 2 most recent ones against MAC opponents. So they're now 2-0 in conference, 9-5 overall. Those 2 wins coming against Central and then Bowling Green as well. Central being the most recent one yesterday. Got the win against Bowling Green. Started out down 17-4. Ended up coming all the way back. Took the lead in the last minute. A big game from Sharon Young with 17 points to kind of lead that comeback and get the win there. And then most recently yesterday, they faced Central Michigan 87-71. So a little bit different story in that game.
Yeah.
Second half didn't trail at all.
No.
So big win for them. Seth Wilson, career high 18 points. And big win there, 18 threes as well. So
yeah, that was my big takeaway, was the number of 3-pointers that were attempted as well as made. The announcers were stunned as the game was going on. 6
players in double figures. So just great game overall. Next up, they got Eastern Michigan on Saturday, so they're going to travel up to Michigan to take those guys on with a 3:30 tip-off.
And then women's game actually going on this evening here Wednesday on campus.
30 minutes maybe. So a lot of action for them too. They've played 4 games over the last month, going 2-2 in that stretch. They're now 7-7, 1-1 in the MAC. They played Michigan. They brought Michigan here, Miami, Hamilton, and then more recently they played Ohio and Toledo as well. Big win against Ohio, 13-point win there. Tanisha Clark, career high, 20 points.
Previous guest of the show.
Yep, wonderful. And then Alexis Mobley just recently had a 23-point game against Toledo. Couldn't pull that one off, but huge game for her, and they look to continue things on the right note against NIU tonight.
So in looking at some of the stats for the women's team, just from a MAC perspective, we are in MAC play. Alexis is 12th in the MAC with averaging 13 points a game, and then Maddie is 4th in 3-point percentage, shooting 42% per game. So
huge. Also on the podcast.
Absolutely, also on the show and the past, and they're also on the road. Both men's and women are at Eastern Michigan this weekend. What else have we had since the last time we chatted?
A couple honors for a couple different teams. So for the football team, 5 ZIPS received all academic district team honors. For the volleyball team, 7 ZIPS named to the academic all MAC team. And then Jaskalainen on the soccer team was drafted 7th overall in the MLS Super Draft by the St. Louis FC.
Then also was a finalist in, I guess, the equivalent of the Heisman Trophy in collegiate soccer. I think he came up 2nd in that voting, but excited to see what goes with his career after leaving the University of Akron. The only other thing I thought of was swimming. They take over in Pittsburgh against Duquesne this weekend, starting on Friday. And then same thing with track, indoor track. They're also on the road this weekend, going up against teams like Ole Miss, Purdue, Kentucky.
High-level competition.
High-level competitions. So, so again, to your point, since the last time we've talked, there's been a lot of action. But we're excited to get to our guest.
Awesome.
Come on in, Nate. Welcome.
How you doing?
Good. Have a seat. We have Nate Johnson with us here on ZIPS Nation Insider, powered by the Fear the Root Collective, Bryant Heating and Cooling, and our guest is courtesy of Tire Source, the official sponsor of the Turnover Tire. So Nate, you are a guard, Redshirt junior, on the basketball team. Mm-hmm. Before we get into kind of who you are, your background, let's talk a little bit about last night's game. It's still kind of fresh. Specifically, we talked a little bit about that in the opening, the amount of 3-pointers. Yeah. I'm curious, at some point, when does it become apparent, hey, we got the shot? Like, I don't know, how does that work? Was that part of the pregame? I was just curious how that kind of plays out as you prep for last night's game.
I would say most of it just come from, as you see in the first game we played, we didn't shoot as many because we was more dribble oriented and we was trying to drive instead of moving the ball. So last night we moved the ball, played how coach wanted us to play, moving the ball, running fast up and down the court. And that just is equivalent to shooting a lot of threes.
So that was part of the game plan then?
That's part of the game plan in general, honestly.
Got it, got
threes.
it. You know, it's interesting because in looking at the box score, right, it used to be, you know, the last couple of years, the big man had most of the scores.
Yeah.
I think he had 1 point last night.
Yeah.
But outside the perimeter shooting was awesome. So, again, that was kind of fresh. Just wanted to get kind of your take on that. You know, it was interesting. I was watching the press conference, and I think Seth Wilson was kind of surprised at how many threes. He's like, "What? We shot 41."
Yeah, 41.
So but it was fun. Obviously, we got the win, so that's the big part. So let's talk a little bit about you.
Mm-hmm.
So you're a redshirt junior, third year on the team. From fourth year.
Yeah.
Sorry, want to make sure again. Fourth year on the team. From the Cincinnati area, so Liberty Township, Lakota East. I want to make sure it's East, not West.
Yeah, Lakota East. Yeah, I played at Lakota East.
Lakota East. So talk about kind of your journey to come here on campus here in Akron. The recruiting process, you know, how that all went down.
It was kind of different for me because my recruiting year was COVID, right after COVID. So I didn't really get to take a visit here. I had to do like an academic visit and come as if I was like a student here just looking for like school-wise. So I didn't really get to see as much as like all the field and like the jar, none of that. So when I came here, I think we were in the tournament. Okay. We were playing Buffalo the year that we lost to Buffalo in Cleveland. So I came, did my little academic visit, and then I went to the game. But it was kind of different. You know, I was on the phone with Gross most of the time on Zoom calls, and he didn't know how to work a FaceTime at the time. So I'm guessing now he still know how to flip the camera a little bit. But
you're on mute? You're on mute, coach?
Yeah, he didn't know how to I had to do a visit over the phone, and he kind of was trying to show me the jar, and he was trying to show me the weight room and didn't know how to flip the camera.
So it's just his face?
Oh, it was just his face. And he was like, you see, like I'm like, Coach, I'm still looking at you. I'm still looking at you. But it was great. I mean, I accept how my recruiting went different from everybody else's. So
that's just part of your story.
Yeah.
And you know, your legacy, and we're glad you're here. We're glad you're here, and that was a positive thing for hopefully you, and obviously it's been positive for the team. So Lakota East, great basketball program. During your time there, you had back-to-back Greater Miami Conference championships, GMC Athlete of the Year, first team All-GMC. How was your game kind of translated, you know, high school to college? Has there been, you know, how did that go? How has it been, so to speak?
I would say my first couple years was a little different because I was used to having the ball all the time and being a facilitator and trying to make plays. I give it to the guy I played with, the couple guys I played with in the beginning of years. Yeah. You know, I had to just be like a spot-up player, play off the ball more. So it kind of actually helped my game. I mean, at high school, we learned how to play off the ball, make cuts, set screens. So being able to do that and still be a contributor helped. And then now it's like I'm the guy who can make plays and basically do the same thing as our offense shows. So,
you know, it's interesting, me thinking about your career and you as a player on the team. I do want to ask you a question, though, about, you know, how do you describe yourself? But I felt like you were more of an inside, like I can see you in my mind's eye of dunking the ball versus that outside shooting. So I'm just curious, like in your game, first off, how do you describe your game? If someone was to say, Nate Johnson, here's how I am as a player, how would you describe yourself?
I would say more of just a playmaker. I feel like I can do a lot of things. I can pass, I can shoot, I can rebound, I defend. I mean, I feel like I can do it all.
Do it all. Well, it's interesting. So the question I wanted to know is, for you, like, again, I've thought of you, I mean, this year you've, at least in my mind's eye, you've changed up to be that outside threat. Before it was inside, do you get, as a player, where do you get more satisfaction, that dunk or that outside shot? Like, do you feel like, or is it the same feeling? Like, I'm never going to dunk the ball. I can shoot an outside shot, but like, how do you, like, if you think of the perfect play, is that a dunk or just a clutch three-pointer? Like, what's your favorite way to score a point, so to speak? I guess
I feel like I would say a dunk is always something that's going to bring more energy. As I see when I dunk the ball, the crowd gets way more into it and stuff. Yeah. So I would always.
By the way, last night you had an awesome one.
I will always prefer a dunk if I can.
Yeah.
But it's also good to know, like, when I make a three, I feel like, okay, I got one going. So now I feel comfortable into the game a little bit.
Sometimes those threes too, so spot up, like, that's just a dagger.
Yeah.
Especially if a team's on a run, you just hit that spot up three. It's just
stop it.
Yeah. Well, cool. Thank you for, again, I wanted to get your opinion of yourself. Because again, how I've seen you as a player is definitely transformed this season.
Yeah.
And so I'm just curious, like, what was, again, thinking about your off season, kind of what was your goal? What was your goal as a player coming into this season?
I kind of knew that he was going to change the offense a little bit around since, Enrique is gone. So
Sure.
I knew kind of we play more faster and it'd be more ball handlers. So I knew I had to be one of the key ball handlers in our offense. So I kind of tried to make sure I key in on ball handling and being able to shoot off the dribble and just being able to make plays. That was my main focus.
Got it. So how does that manifest itself in the gym? How are you just continuing scrimmage, running plays, that type of thing?
Mainly just continuing to play basketball. I mean, you can work out as much as you want, but once you get into a game or a game setting, you're going to have to use some of those things that you're doing. So just playing basketball.
Sure. You alluded to, the change in the team. I think one of the big changes that we've seen is 9 new players.
Yeah.
Right. That was we talked to Coach Gross a month and a half ago, and one of my questions was, did you have to everyone wear name tags because you didn't know? Like, how has that adjustment been as far as some of these new players?
It's been different. I mean, my past 3 years has been same guys. You may add maybe 1 or 2 guys.
Sure.
So this year has been a whole different adjustment, adding on a new offense too. So it's like I kind of know what to expect, but then it's also, hey, I'm learning just with you guys. So but it's been good. I feel like we all have good team chemistry, like on and off the court. Like we all you can go to somebody's house, go hang with them. You can go, like it's not really a clique type of thing.
Sure.
I feel like it's a good thing.
I was going to ask about team chemistry. So you feel like it's at a good place?
Yeah. I feel like at the last night we showed, move the ball a lot.
Yeah.
You see when we win games, when we move the ball and we get a lot of assists and a lot of threes. So that also is just from off the court, hanging out a lot.
So you alluded to Enrique Freeman not being on the team. Curious to know your thoughts. Number 25 has been a fixture for a while here, and you played 2 years, actually 3 years, I guess, with him.
With him for
3 years. What did you learn from just his being on the team with him?
He's just a motor guy. He never stops. He always had a smile on his face no matter what. Just to play hard. I mean, if that's the main thing you get from him. He just played hard, and if he had a bad play, you would never know. He'd come down and do something crazy.
Hit a 3.
Yeah, hit a 3 now. I mean,
where did that come from?
Hit a 3, get a big block, dunk. So you just learn just to keep playing and play hard from him. So
got a pretty good example for you then. So all right, let's jump into this season. So we've started, as we talked about in the opening, 2 games in the MAC conference. How do you feel your non-conference schedule went, preparing you for where we're at now in the season?
I feel like our non-conference, it went all right. It didn't go how we planned on going.
Okay.
Especially finishing out the non-conference in a good way. But our first 2 conference games were just good opponents, and we found a way the first game on the road, which we needed a road win.
Yeah.
And then yesterday we got a first one at home, and that we played great. So
2 wins in a row. So
so I can say we learned.
we
learned
something,
from non-conference.
Something happened that translated into those 2 wins, and they've been great wins.
Yeah.
One of the things, you talked about team chemistry a little bit. In the past, like I think last year you guys went to the Cayman Islands. This year you went to El Paso. How do those tournaments during the season kind of help with that chemistry and get to know the players? Do you like doing those?
Yeah, it's more like bringing like off the court, you hanging out with each other.
Yeah.
When you go into a place where you're not familiar with, you're going to rely on your teammates. So,
Sure.
So going to El Paso, when we say we were going to get food or we all in the hotel, we bored. That's when everybody's coming together.
Everyone's kind of in the same boat.
So it's like you had nothing else to do but be with your teammates. So
Sure.
It's kind of helped.
Sure, yeah. Coach, again, when we talked to Coach Gross, he was a big fan of those types of activities to help with that chemistry, and especially with 9 new players.
You need it.
You need it, definitely. So let's talk a little bit off the court. So a lot of people, when we bring in, what's your major? What are you studying?
Sports studies and coaching.
Sports studies and coaching. So how do you juggle being a student athlete with your demands from an academic perspective with what's going on the court?
I would say from our practice schedule, it's kind of not as hard as for most people. As some people got practice in the afternoon with a class in the morning at like between 8 to 12, and then have to go to practice and then have a late class. Ours is we have practice from 8 to 12, sometimes later, depending on how Coach Gross is feeling. And then I have class after that. So, I mean, my schedule is not really as hard as most athletes.
Got it. So you're able to balance that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
great. That's great. You talked about Coach Gross maybe staying a little bit longer with practice. He did talk about last night in his post game press conference about some of the team defense. Did you guys run today, or is it an off day for you?
Oh, today was an off day. I mean, I would hope so. We played a little hard last night. I'm still feeling it right now, honestly.
But maybe they're to come. Maybe there's some to come.
Yeah.
So fans, this is Zips Nation Insider. So really the goal of this show is to kind of be a stand-in proxy, so to speak, for Zips Nation. How important are the fans for you as you guys play? Specifically that Akron AK Rowdy section, the student section.
That's a big thing. They bring a lot of energy. It's good to know, like, when you come out before tip-off, you see all the fans and everybody standing up, loud noise. You're like, oh, yeah, we got a good one today. Like, we have to bring it today. As we got to bring it every time. But I'm saying, when you have the fans there, it's just more energy, not just from the bench, our side, but from you guys too. So
you can feel it then as a player.
Yeah, definitely. You could definitely feel all the energy coming from all the fans in there. So
especially on that Kent State game.
Oh yeah.
Talk a little about your perspective as a player when we play Kent. What is that like, the rival? Now, again, maybe for you, you're not from this area, but did you quickly? I mean, how does that Kent rivalry for you?
See, I was recruited by Kent a little bit, so I kind of understand it when it's the rivalry, because I remember on my visit there they talked about it a little bit. So being here now, my first year I didn't really like understand it, 'cause I wasn't playing. Like, I never in the game, you feel it more in the game than you do sitting down on the bench. So I remember my first time playing it, and I was just like, you could feel the whole ground shaking. Like I hear the ball dribbling a little bit, but you can hear like just the crowd moving the court. It was playing against Kent is just like people don't understand it until you're in it. So it's just
it is a different game.
Oh, way different.
It's fun. It's a fun. If you haven't, those watching, if you have not been to a Kent game, encourage you to come. And I wish I knew that date off the top of my head.
We play them the 31st.
31st of January, right?
We play them at Kent the 31st.
Okay.
And then we play them the end of February.
I'm glad you know.
Yeah.
That's great. Got Nate Johnson here on Zips Nation.
March 1st.
March 1st?
On the 1st. Okay.
Well,
yeah. Just show up to the game. Just show up to the game. That's all you need to know. Look online. Show up to the game. It's going to be a good one, always.
Yeah, just tell me where to go, when to be there.
Just know end of January is at Kent, February, March it's in the jar.
Perfect. So in your career, 4 years here, what has been your favorite memory of being a Zips basketball player?
That has to be the championship, winning the championship versus Kent. I say the first time we did it, I didn't play, so it was just like, I mean, I got a ring, but I didn't get I didn't really do nothing. And then last year, it kind of meant something to me, because I didn't get to play Kent the first 2 games because I was out with an injury.
Yeah.
So then coming back, playing them in the championship, and then winning it against them in the championship, just winning the championship, especially with that group. I mean, what way to send that group of guys off to their wherever they're doing now, but just had to. I feel like we had to finish it off right.
The cool thing is I mean, your story is also still being written.
Yeah.
That's your greatest moment, and that's a fantastic moment. But man, I mean, there's still hopefully there's still more to come.
I know. I told them guys I'll get more rings to them. So.
So we're sitting here in the Wentz Financial Group Player Development. What does this space mean for the team, for you? How have you seen kind of the benefits of? I mean, it's only been 6-7 months since it's been here.
Yeah.
What has been kind of your thoughts on this particular facility for your game?
I mean, you can just look around and see. It's just like we have a NOAA system. I mean, I didn't even know what that was until you come in here and you see.
You want it in the green, right?
You want it in the green. You don't want it a yellow, red, then you know you're doing something wrong when you're shooting the ball. But it's just, I mean, we have everything in here. So you can come here anytime. It's open for the players 24/7. And then so many rims. It's like, how can you not come here and get the work in? You see all the banners and the jerseys. It's just like.
It's motivating, and then you have the technology to be able to help you with your game. All right, we got some fun questions.
Okay.
One of the questions that we wanted to ask you is about your Power Rangers tattoos.
Oh, my.
What? There's got to be a story.
Yeah, it is. So since I was little, I always was in love with Power Rangers. Is like I had Power
Do you have a
Rangers.
favorite Ranger? Color?
Not favorite Rangers, a favorite. Like he played
Straight.
multiple Rangers.
Okay.
Tommy, obviously, but he played in multiple different Power Rangers. He's like the legend of Power Rangers. But ever since I was like a kid, I would come home from school and say Power Rangers on Nickelodeon or something. Oh, I'm sitting in the chair, kicking my feet up, and I'm watching Power Rangers the whole time. Like I had Power Rangers, everything, jackets, lunchbox, all that.
Now it's memorialized forever.
Yeah, now I was like, if I do anything else, everything based on my title have to mean something. Just like this one is just the ultimate one. Like,
So I told my son Colin I was going to ask that question. He was a huge fan of the Red Ranger.
Oh,
so when he growing up, he was a red.
Yeah.
His favorite color was red because of the Red Ranger.
Power, yes. Oh, I was a costume. That was my like Halloween costume for like 3 years straight. Red Power Ranger.
By the way, this is the type of insight you get from ZIPS Nation Insider.
Oh, yeah.
So thank you for sharing that. Okay, other question. So like most of the team, you have a nice sneaker collection, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah. I mean, I changed shoes last night at halftime. So
Okay, so I've seen that before. You are not the first player to do that.
yeah.
A few years ago, Channel Banks.
Channel, I think.
Channel. Okay.
Yeah.
God, Fred is like Banks. He did that, and I'm like, wait, he changed his shoes. So talk about your sneaker collection. What's your favorite pair? How do you decide which one you're going to go with?
Well, outside the court is comfortable sneakers, obviously. And, on the court, it depends. I mean, my first couple years, it was more like team-oriented shoes. I'm not really.
So the color would kind of match the uniform?
Yeah, it was more of that because, I wasn't really doing anything. I was just there just to, help the team win. And then it was like I told myself whenever I get like oriented into the starting lineup, I would like add some flavor to it. So now ever since last year, sometimes try to wear a different shoe every game, or it's one game this shoe hasn't done me no well, so I might wear a different one.
Okay.
But more last night, it was just those Kobe's just was not feeling great. My feet were kind of hurting, so I was just like, I got to change it up.
So I was watching from home, so I couldn't. Did you go into the Ja Morant 2s or the 21, LeBron 21?
No, I had the Sabrina's on.
Oh, Sabrina's on.
Yeah. Her shoes are comfortable, and you can customize them. So I had a different color on. She might have the best Nike shoe right now.
I've heard that. All right, pre-game suspicions, superstitions, or rituals. Something you have to do before each game in order to make that game go well.
I don't know. Now I've been weird. I get it. I think I got something from Reek. I don't listen to rap music no more. I listen to like R&B music.
I was gonna say like country western. I thought maybe.
Oh no. I listen to like R&B music now, but that a little bit, and then I would say I don't know. Where I take showers before a game. I know it's kind of weird. Like you take a shower and you're about to go play, but I have to take a shower. And
is there like a certain point in the game? Like is this before you guys do warm-ups? Like you?
No, it's more of before we say if we're on a away game before we leave the hotel. It's like at this point after I eat after I eat our little pregame meal, I go take a shower. Or if we're home, I make sure I go home. I take my shower and I feel really.
You're ready
fresh.
to go.
Yeah.
You're ready to go. All right, we talked a little bit about this before you came on, about hometown pizza. If we're going to visit you in Liberty Township, where are we going for some hometown pizza?
La Rosa's.
La Rosa's.
La Rosa's.
Someone else has said that. We had someone else say that. Was it Matt Dries from the soccer team? Matt said it from the soccer team. He's from Cincinnati area.
Yes, that's why La Rosa's is.
Yeah.
They have everything.
What's your order? What's your go-to order?
Depends. Sometimes I mostly get a calzone, so like sauces, bacon, pepperoni, and that's it.
So that's it. So we've had two. That's the first time we've had a second recommendation. All right, this is our rapid fire segment, powered by 330 To Go, Northeast Ohio's hottest and fastest growing news and entertainment media network. Okay, this is rapid fire. So first thing that pops into your head.
Okay.
Favorite emoji?
The monkey emoji.
The monkey emoji?
Yeah.
All right. Best dancer on the team?
Me.
You?
Yeah.
Best dancer on the team. If you weren't playing basketball, what would be your other sport you'd play?
Football.
Football. Did you play?
Yeah. When I was younger, I played, but I was really nice. I was nice. I was going to the NFL in 6th grade.
6th grade.
I was nice.
So when did you stop playing football? I know this is beyond rapid fire, but
seventh grade.
Seventh grade. So focused on.
It got too cold outside, and I just couldn't do it no more.
We talked about pregame ritual. How did you choose your jersey number 34?
My cousin had passed away in high school, and he wore 34, and he never got past 16. And I told my aunt I wear 34 past 16.
Oh, that's a great story.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for sharing that. Last one, favorite post-game meal?
Candy.
Candy.
Can't say that.
Can't see that.
Favorite post-game meal had to be, I don't know. If we have like an off day like today, it'd be something crazy, like some hibachi or something.
Okay. Coming right off the court.
Yeah, no, not right off the court. It had to be like maybe I already had our after game post game meal, but
Hibachi.
Maybe
So-
it didn't do anything for me, so I got to get something else.
All right, final question for Nate Johnson. Nate, we talked about 2 games into the MAC conference schedule. We want to sell some tickets to games. Why should people be excited about this year's Zips men's basketball team?
Because we're entertaining. Our team is a very entertaining team. We play fast. We shoot a lot of threes. You never know what you're gonna get on a day-to-day basis. You just know it's gonna be entertaining. I mean, we have a great team. You should come out and watch us. Just come out and watch us play, please.
You're going to have a good time. It's basically
Yeah, you're gonna have a good time. You're gonna enjoy the game. That's all I can say. You're gonna enjoy
perfect.
the game.
No, I don't disagree with you 100%.
You're gonna enjoy the game.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Nate Johnson, for being on Zips Nation Insider. Appreciate you being here. Thank you.
Thank you.